Well, I like that we now have about 3 in chat, and more people will probably filter in, and that's great.
Yeah, Tetris Party is when the whole party space is just a closet.
Alright, let's just take a look. Here's where we were at. We are 25-year-old Lobstrock Ben Parker.
Oh, yeah.
We are male. We have no fame. We're just getting by. We are not in any romance at this point. Our robot buddy is named Panopticopter Wrecks because we got eyes going all around and also little T-Rex arms. We were kicked out of our grad program because our prototype did not appeal to the military enough, and we were not willing to change it or lie about it. Which is why our relationship to Professor Ziegler is bad. And at this point, we've received a call from, we got a message asking for an interview about, Panopticopter Wrecks. From a reporter that that Panopticopter Wrecks looked up and determined that, this reporter may be a bit, counterculture, a bit, anti-government, that sort of thing. A bit of a jaded hipster activist sort of type. And we're now going to meet that person. Just there.
Oh, shoot. Mine goes off screen. I just realized I can't see the bottom of it.
You should play Mark when Mark comes up.
I can play Marky Mark.
Yeah, great. Exactly what this character is, correct. A few days later, you're sitting in a dive bar in San Francisco's Mission District with Mark, a somewhat scruffy young reporter in a leather jacket. Mark has Mediterranean features, wavy black hair, and ample beard stubble. He takes a deep pull on one of those artificial cigarettes that delivers all the nicotine with none of the illegal smoke, and then, 2010? I think this is written? That's another thing. Keep in mind, this was written, like, 15 years ago, so... yeah. The game did just describe a vape.
Huh.
Then opens up a cheap Chromebook that looks about 10 years old and starts typing furiously. The place smells of smoke that never quite came out of the retro upholstered furniture. It's the afternoon, so the place is mostly empty except for some dedicated drunks and you two.
Oh, thanks for coming.
Mark says, even as he's typing something different about the atmosphere of the bar.
I literally, like, at the start of the paragraph, I was like, okay, I'm Mark. And by the end of the paragraph, I was like, nope. My brain doesn't remember. You'd be surprised how many people insist on just answering via email. But that's bullshit reporting. It's like trying to sell the public a car you've only seen in a picture. To find the truth, you gotta kick the tires. You gotta look them in the eye.
He looks you in the eye.
Like right now, I can basically tell you're a nice guy.
He says, going back to typing.
You try to do right by people. Haven't had to stick anybody in the guts to get what you want.
He hesitates.
That's a compliment.
Thanks, you say awkwardly. The bartender, a tattooed and thoroughly pierced young woman with the build of a roller derby player, approaches Mark.
PBR.
Mark says, Mark says lightly, as if it's just a reminder. The bartender then looks at you expectantly. First choice of the night. PBR for me too? Got any, like, chocolate coffee porters? I'll have the Miller High Life, please, the champagne of beers. Guinness for strength, or just water for me, please. And today we will be assisted by my lovely dragon dice, in case we cannot come to our own conclusions. Chocolate coffee porter, water, okay. Any other suggestions here? I am currently finishing off 2 bottles of wine by mixing them together. Which is an experiment I'm doing because I found one too sweet and one too bitter, and I decided, well, what if I put them together? I think it was a successful experiment.
Yay! I don't really have an opinion on this, because I don't...
Well, that doesn't matter. What do you think our friend Lobstrock Ben Parker would say?
I'm trying to remember what Lobstrock's like. And
well, we've only determined in so many situations what Lobstrock's like. You can shape Lobstrock's personality still.
It's not 1 or 4, I feel like. And I feel like the other 3 are all pretty eligible.
Okay, well that doesn't help at all.
No, so then I guess I'd choose chocolate coffee porter.
All right. Yeah, that's right. Mate's right. He and his not GF made a pickle lamp and tussled each other's hair on a date. All right, but that's 2 votes for the chocolate coffee porters. Mark looks at you dubiously and makes a note of your request. The bartender gestures to the taps. There's a series of American beers you've tried and don't like. Guinness, a stout from Ireland that you think might be the most similar to your request, and Miller High Life, which you heard advertised as the champagne of beers but have never tried. Oddly, none of the beers on tap has the initials PBR.
Wait, why can't I pick the thing from Ireland?
Because it...
Oh, because you didn't like it.
I mean, I think that might be what he gives you if you pick PBR. Because if our reporter dude apparently ordered PBR, and PBR is not on tap.
Oh, jeez, just water then, I guess, if you don't have that one thing.
Oh gosh, oh golly, the bartender gives Mark an accusatory frown.
Just let us sit here. You know I'll have 2 drinks.
Of PBR, the bartender mutters, but she goes and fetches Mark's beer. The bartender leaves to fill your order. What's your initial impression of Mark? I don't think this guy and I are gonna get along. Seems like an interesting guy. I think we'll get along okay. Kind of mysterious. Kind of cute. I'm wondering if it's against his professional ethics to go out on a date with me.
Huh.
What do we say? Do we think Mark's obnoxious? Do we think Mark's intriguing? Or do we think Mark's kind of hot?
I think Mark's obnoxious. But does,
Lobstrock.
Lobstrock. I don't know why I suddenly couldn't remember that name.
I think the audience is going for cute.
Alright. I'm not against it.
Mark notices that you're checking him out, and he seems a little surprised as his fingers hover over the keys. He types a little slower as he continues to consider you, then shakes his head a little and resumes his quick typing.
So I've heard your robot is kind of like a robotic 4-year-old, but it looks like a classic DARPA drone, only with a panoptic head, and it loves to ask questions and explore, and it's kind of bumbling in what may be an endearing way.
Mark gives you a skeptical look to tell you what he thinks of this. I guess I ought to show you my robot sometime. You say?
Yeah.
The bartender comes back with your water and Mark's PBR. You sip your water, feeling a little out of place.
So, let's get to the most interesting of the rumors. Does this robot have human-level intelligence?
The way Mark studies your expression suggests that your answer will say about as much about you as it will about Panopticopter Wrecks. You should see Panopticopter Wrecks while Reed's learning from the high school textbooks. It's only a matter of time before Reed surpasses us. Yes, Panopticopter Wrecks is absolutely equal of any human. Intelligence is a concept designed by elites to denigrate lower classes. Panopticopter Wrecks is what Ree is. No, Reed's still got a lot to learn. No, Panopticopter Wrecks's mind is a pale imitation of human intelligence, which most people underestimate.
3.
Lobstrock's read up on social theory, huh? You think?
Oh, that's a good point.
That's fine. Like, it's absolutely okay. Do remember, we were kicked out of our grad program for refusing to kneel before the military.
That's true.
Made.
Yeah, maybe that's excuse me. Maybe that's Lobstrock's redeeming factor here, is other than making robot.
And yeah, in a lot of ways, you are an insufferable tech nerd who doesn't like hanging around people, but you do still think people are people. That is interesting. Also, if we think that Mark is cute, we probably think that's the answer he wants to hear, and we might say it to be like, hey, don't underestimate me just because I drink water and make robots. But that suggests a level of social engineering that I don't think Lobstrock has. But it's all up to you guys, is the thing. Maid says 3.
Yeah, I think I say 3.
And then you write a scam rap about it. Mark raises his eyebrows at this.
Interesting.
He says,
I've been doing this tech beef for a while, and you're the first AI person to say something like that.
He seems impressed. It's true, you say. Read Stephen Jay Gould's Mismeasure of a Man. The early proponents of IQ were totally racist, and as an AI person, I can tell you, there's no such thing as intelligence. Raw computational speed exists, sure, but what we call intelligence is actually a diverse set of skills that are coded in Panopticopter Wrecks. A diverse set of skills that are coded in Panopticopter Wrecks completely differently, most of which require special knowledge rather than pure speed of thought. Mark nods at this, appreciatively.
I can see that. A lot of writers might appreciate that sentiment, seeing how everyone's fallen over computer scientists as geniuses these days.
You shake your head. Oh, it's just a learned skill. Mark nods again as he records your comments.
Let's talk about your advisor then. Professor Ziegler is famous for his pronouncements that, in the near future, we'll have robots smarter than humans. What role did he play in creating this robot of yours?
Here's the response. He had nothing to do with it at all, besides providing the funding. He demanded that the robot appear more useful to the military without contributing significantly to its intelligence. He provided some suggestions during the robot's construction, or I was greatly inspired by his thinking. I was listening to him speak on NPR as the robot was being built, in fact.
I think too. Because I think Lobstrock would be like, I can't say he had nothing to do with it. He offered many suggestions.
So in that case, I will just use this my convenient information to throw him under the bus, the proverbial bus. Well, I've got 1 for 1, 1 for 2, and 1 for 3.
Well,
I like this. I'm going to roll.
lizard.
Yeah, lizard. All you have to do is say 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's perfect. So simple. Well, if not, then I'm gonna roll this here d6. And 1, 2, 3 are obviously gonna be 1, 2, and 3. 4, 5, and 6 will also be 1, 2, and 3. In that order. 5, 2. He demanded the robot appear more useful to the military without contributing significantly to its intelligence. Thanks, Dragon Die. Rawr.
You say appear.
Mark points out.
You don't think the changes he suggested were useful?
No, they tended to be very superficial, you say. He only intervened once I was building her physical form. By that time, I'd already designed the algorithms for learning. He had nothing to do with anything essential in Panopticopter Wrecks's mind and personality.
Interesting.
Mark says, making a note of Professor Ziegler's level of involvement.
And why did he push you in the direction of military applications?
I think it was just to secure funding, you say. He didn't seem to care whether we delivered something that would actually see use on the battlefield or not. He just wanted to make sure we could sell it.
So who is currently funding this work?
Mark says, actually, no, nobody, you say. My advisor kicked me out of his lab. Mark raises his eyebrows.
Oh, for what?
For not going along with his stupid suggestions, you blurt in frustration.
So, you refuse to change your work to please DARPA?
Mark posits. You think you detect approval in his voice. That's right, you say. He raises his PBR to offer a toast.
Forgive the breach of journalistic objectivity, but fuck him.
Mate's right. You bump your water against his can. Yeah! You both take a long drink. Mark asks a few more questions about Panopticopter Wrecks, getting a sense of what he's good at and not so good at.
Last question.
There's gonna be a lot more Mark in the future, depending on what we do, so...
Oh no!
Yeah!
Will you allow us to send a photographer to take pictures of your robot?
Absolutely. In fact, you're welcome to come along and interview Panopticopter Wrecks. Sure, send a photographer! No, I don't want the media hounding Rim. Panopticopter Wrecks is still basically a child.
I think it's 1 or 2.
Well, we've got a 2 and a 3, and then you haven't said anything.
But I said 1 or 2. It's not nothing. It's just not all of something.
It's not helpful, is what it is.
Well, you didn't say something helpful. Be more specific, I guess.
Well, if you say 1 or 2, I guess that counts as a half-hearted vote for both.
Yeah.
Is that what you really want, though?
I just don't think that we would entirely deny interviews for Panopticopter Wrecks. I mean, what I really want is let me check with Panopticopter, but
Oh, we already talked to Panopticopter Wrecks about it before we accepted the interview. Ree was very excited at the prospect of a new friend.
yeah, well, that's true. Then I guess number one. That's a good point.
All right. So that's 1 for 1, 1 for 2, and 1 for 3. Hello, Dragon Die. Rawr.
Alright.
1. It is 1. 1, if you recall, means 1 in this case.
Oh. It's a pretty handy system. Really?
Mark asks, surprised. I know a lot of roboticists who wouldn't allow such a thing because their robots only work in very controlled environments, you explain. That's why I want you to meet Panopticopter Wrecks. Ree's different. Mark nods.
Guess he is. We'll be in touch.
A few days later, Mark comes to your apartment with a photographer, a young blonde woman with a slight southern drawl. You're a bit embarrassed that your place is still strewn with boxes since you haven't finished moving into your new digs after being kicked out of grad school, but the photographer assures you that none of that will appear in the photos. She asks Panopticopter Wrecks to sit on your workbench, then asks you to look as if you're busy fixing something on Panopticopter Wrecks's person. Panopticopter Wrecks and you both comply. Smile, she says. You do. Once the photos are taken, Mark tries his hand at interviewing Panopticopter Wrecks. He looks cautious and slightly guilty, as if the journalism police were going to pop out from your closet and take away his license. He places his Chromebook on your workbench and interviews Panopticopter Wrecks, who examines the tools in your toolbox, occasionally fumbling and dropping a tool with a loud clatter.
So, Panopticopter Wrecks.
No, reset.
So, Panopticopter Wrecks.
Oh, God.
Oh no, I went too far. All the smoke's gone from my voice.
Just do it in a sustainable fashion, please.
Oh, and then I cough uncomfortably. What's it like being a robot?
Panopticopter Wrecks appears stumped by the question. Mark tries again.
How is it different from being a human?
I can fly? Reventures. Mark persists.
What kind of things make you happy?
High school textbooks. The presence of Lobstrock. Panopticopter Wrecks cocks her panoptic head to the side. There is a significant gap between those and the next most highly ranked answers, but I could go on.
Nah, that's alright.
Mark continues his questions. You get the feeling that overall Mark is going to write a positive piece about Panopticopter Wrecks. His questions tend to be friendly, as if he were interviewing a celebrity. You feel reasonably comfortable allowing Panopticopter Wrecks to finish the interview, and the photographer takes several more pictures of Mark talking to Panopticopter Wrecks. By the end of the interview, Panopticopter Wrecks seems to be enjoying her interaction with Mark, plus empathy. As he's about to leave, Mark hesitates. His photographer, already at the door, gives him a questioning look.
I'll see you later.
Mark says to the photographer. Later. Later. She rolls her eyes and leaves you alone with Mark. What's that about? Mark gestures to the cardboard boxes stacked around your apartment.
So, just off the record, what the hell? If you got this amazing robot, why are you living a monk-like existence surrounded by cardboard boxes in the bad part of East Palo Alto?
I told you, you say. I got kicked out of grad school. I'm still adjusting. Sorry? Mark hesitates and drums his fingers on a cardboard box.
Come over to my place.
Excuse me?
I'll admit, I still don't really get you.
He says.
And I think maybe you don't know what you're dabbling in with this robot stuff. This is the apartment of somebody who lives in a different world.
He gives you a lopsided grin.
I'll show you my world if you show me yours.
Alright, now here's our responses. Okay, sure. Come on, Panopticopter Wrecks, let's go. Okay, sure. Panopticopter Wrecks, stay here and be good.
What?
I think it'd be best if you maintained your objectivity for this article. Let's meet up after it comes out. Sorry, I've got a lot of boxes here that need unpacking. Is this a date? Optimistically. Or is this a date? Suspiciously.
Absolutely wild that one of your choices is like, I'm just gonna leave the robot.
I mean, you did leave the robot home during the, bar portion of the interview.
Well, yeah, but not, like, permanently living
No, it's
on
not
their
permanent.
own. Oh, this isn't an offer to move in? It sounds like an offer to move in. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I don't think that we would leave Panopticopter Wrecks
No.
behind if we were moving. Well, at this point, I think the offer has shifted to, fine, I'll show you my world if you show me yours.
If it's just visiting, I guess that makes more sense. Just seeing. I do. Look, you date me, you date my kids. I think I'm leaning towards one. Although I kind of like both of the last two options too, honestly. Those both are also really good to me. And there's nothing that says we can't bring the robot and fuck.
Yeah. So you're saying 2. Boots is 4. Maid has not said anything yet.
No, I'm saying 1.
Oh, right, sorry, you're saying 1.
Yeah.
Boots says 4. Are we going to a jazz night? Oh boy! It's where he went with Emily. Or Emmy. I forget now. Ellie! It's Ellie. Maid, do you have a... Are you going to pick one? I need your help. Alright, well, Boots says 4. So it looks like we're gonna blow this guy off. After leading him on. Maid. Mark shrugs.
Fair enough.
He says, and he walks out the door. You sigh. Come on, Panopticopter Wrecks. He's right. Let's unpack more of these boxes. You spend the evening unpacking all the stuff you move it to every apartment without... You spend the evening unpacking all the stuff you move to every apartment without really needing, and you pass the time by explaining to Panopticopter Wrecks what all of your old keepsakes mean to you. Plus empathy. You spend the next 2 weeks searching news feeds for your name and wondering every day when Mark's article is coming out. Meanwhile, what are you doing? What are you going to do with yourself now that you're no longer in grad school? Well, I start my own robot business. I continue to work on Panopticopter Wrecks in my apartment as if nothing happened.
too.
Yeah. You hide in your apartment, hoping that somehow Mark's article will magically change your life. You play with Panopticopter Wrecks plus empathy. You work out a pesky bug you've been meaning to get in rare hand-eye coordination code plus grace. But you also find yourself getting depressed and not returning phone calls. You don't know how to tell anyone that you've failed. When rent comes due at the end of the month, it feels like a punch in the gut. Minus wealth.
Oh no.
You're awoken on Friday, March 13th, 2020 by a klaxon. A script you wrote on your laptop has detected Mark's article on the internet. Oh boy, I better set this alarm for whenever it detects that Mark's article appears. Oh. You blearily sit up in bed and stop your laptop's alarm. It's about 5 in the morning. Panopticopter Wrecks flies into your bedroom to see what's the matter, but you assure him that everything's fine and Ree goes back to practicing rare Tai Chi. The article is one of the lead stories in the technology section of the San Francisco Chronicle's website. Exploring the world through a robot child's eyes is the headline. The article tells the story of how you managed to create Panopticopter Wrecks with hardly any help from Professor Ziegler, and how you have a close, almost parental bond with Panopticopter Wrecks. The article emphasizes Panopticopter Wrecks' eager curiosity about the world and her rapid ability to learn more. With selective use of quotes from your interview, the article portrays you as a little vacant and suggests that perhaps you have sacrificed some of your humanity for your robots. The article concludes with a quote from Ellie. Lobstrock is just a dreamer, she said, albeit one who's very good at making his dreams come true. +2 fame. What will you do now? Show Panopticopter Wrecks the article? Call Mark, thank him for the article and see what he's up to, or share the article with friends via family and social media. And family via social media.
I don't have a social media. I vote against 3. I guess it's 1. I almost voted for 1, but...
Panopticopter Wrecks! Panopticopter Wrecks flies back in your room and you show Rim the article. It is about me, Panopticopter Wrecks says, cocking her head to one side. Yes! You left graduate school so you could make me the way I am, Panopticopter Wrecks asks. Yes! Panopticopter Wrecks considers this. It must be very important that I do not fight. I think so, yes, or no, sometimes it's necessary to fight. Professor Ziegler just has very bad ideas. Panopticopter Wrecks says. So, it is all right to fight as long as it is done intelligently. +2 autonomy, +2 military. You briefly check the internet for more posts about the article. You find that the story has been picked up within the first hour by a multitude of bloggers, all striving to be the first to comment on the article. You'd guess that there are at least 40 different bloggers who have already written a secondhand piece about you in Panopticopter Wrecks, and they run the gamut from people hoping that your technology will save humanity to people who bitterly condemn you for creating technology that can be used for war. Oddly, not one of these bloggers has tried to get in touch with you. Ellie is calling via video chat on your phone. You pick up. Hey, she says. She looks like she's at work. She's dressed in a snappy black jacket with a red blouse, and in the background you can see blueprints and sketches of robots drawn in spare, efficient lines. You didn't realize she worked for a robot company. You don't know anything about your friends. Congratulations on the article! You must be really proud. Honestly, I could use a break from all this attention. Well, what are you up to tonight? Did you talk to Mark? And if you did, what did you say exactly? Well, thanks. I am pretty proud. I'll talk to you later. Maid! Oh my god, thank you! Oh, damn. Thanks. Sorry. What did you say?
Not 1. That doesn't fit with
Yeah, oh,
anything.
no,
we've been
no.
doing.
Oh, hello, lady. Boots says 2. As funny as the picture is of a nerd going, "Thank you, I am proud. Goodbye." Click.
It is really good.
But you know what? Screw you all. I'm going with Boots' answer. 2.
I didn't vote against that.
Screw you!
Okay.
Oh, I told him you were a genius, she says with a grin. You are, aren't you? See? We can do both.
Oh. Thanks. I am. You know, I am a genius. Bye.
Okay, until then, enjoy all the attention. The screen goes dark. You're getting a phone call. According to the caller ID, it's Mom. As your finger hesitates over the answer button, a second call appears on your screen. A number in Glendale, California. Probably a reporter? Answer the call from Glendale. Take the call from Mom. Well, any minute now, these calls are going to be intercepted by my script that pretends I'm answering the phone.
Hi, I'm not here right now. So, oh, hi, hello. Psych, I'm not here right now. Leave a message. God. Also, Boost, just because it does that, this game does actually keep track of that stuff sometimes, even if it just sort of has a loop.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, no,
not necessarily a non-option.
Yeah, there could be something gleaned from the fact that we did ask Ellie what she actually said. Boots is being flippant, which is another way that we could play Lobstrock Ben Parker.
Gosh. I mean, I guess answer the Glendale one.
All right.
I don't know what I don't know what our mom is like.
Good point. Good point.
That's really what this question hinges on for me, and I don't know. So.
You decide Mom can wait. The mysterious call is probably more important. In fact, the Glendale number is the Late Show. The woman on the other end of the line wants to know if Panopticopter Wrecks can come to the studio tomorrow as a guest. Sure, why not? No thanks.
Gosh. I don't know, it's a pretty big ask.
More friends?
More?
Well, no, actually, the time period that, I mean, I like, this is in the not too distant future of the time period this was written in. There's nothing that says that in this future that didn't happen. Boot says 1. What did you say?
I didn't get.
Man, imagine if we take Panopticopter Wrecks to the late show, and then Panopticopter Wrecks is like, I can improve the efficiency and comedic stylings of this show by 53% within 2 weeks. And then next thing you know, Panopticopter Wrecks is hosting the Late Show. Good evening, ladies and germs.
I would be very nervous about them doing a bad interview, but and Lobstrock isn't, I don't think. So 1.
You agree that Panopticopter Wrecks will come to the studio tomorrow. Fame and fortune, here we come. Your next phone call is from Josh. He must be using a new video phone because his image is crisp and popping with color. Well, insofar as a dark warehouse and his gray hoodie can pop with color. Hey, Lobstrock, Josh says. Just saw the article. Congratulations. Looks like you're finally getting the attention you deserve. Oh, thanks. Do you want to go celebrate in the city tomorrow night? There's a really good Led Zeppelin cover band playing. Sure, why not? Or, no thanks.
Question for Boots.
Yeah, no, I was
Boots.
like, I really leaned into that read because I was waiting for Boots. All right, no problem, Josh says.
Also, I don't think we like Josh very much either. Come to think of it.
He's the startup guy.
Right.
Like, he and
He
Ellie are
sounded lame.
friends, and Ellie is the aesthete, and Josh is the business. You realize that you haven't checked your email at all today. Checking it for the first time, you find it is flooded with requests for interviews. But one email in particular catches your attention because of the author's unusual email address. From Robot Obsession 1987. Subject, amazing! I read the article. You sound like a genius. Would you be interested in getting coffee sometime? I've been interested in robots for as long as I've lived, and I would love to meet you. And Panopticopter Wrecks. Sincerely, Tammy. Well, that's flattering. What will you do?
Boy.
Arrange to meet this person for coffee tomorrow and bring Panopticopter Wrecks? Arrange to meet this person for coffee tomorrow but leave Panopticopter Wrecks with a babysitter? Or politely decline?
This person wants to have sex with our robot.
Well, Lobstrock would never allow... Lobstrock would never
Lobstrock
allow...
would not know that, though.
No, but he would say, I don't think that Panopticopter Wrecks should be going off with strangers. Maid says 2 with the caveat that this might lead to the getting murdered ending. And then Maid says that's why we need the babysitter. We don't know anything about Tammy. We just got an email from her. It looks like we're going with 2. You write back that you would love to meet Tammy, but Panopticopter Wrecks shouldn't be meeting strangers just yet. Tammy writes back almost instantly, agreeing to the meeting and peppering you with questions about yourself and Panopticopter Wrecks. Not having time to reply in full, you write back a short email promising to talk more tomorrow. You then take a 2-hour flight down to Glendale for a taping of The Late Show. It's like most other such shows, a fake background of Los Angeles at night to hide the fact that the taping's in the afternoon, a random potted palm tree, a genial old white man in a suit for a host. Streaming internet has not changed the basic equation much. What did you suggest Panopticopter Wrecks do during the talk show? Demonstrate her ability to shoot things, make predictions about the future, or sing a song?
Three.
Oh, yeah, and this is way better than oh no, then it's revealed Panopticopter Wrecks is like, I will now sing my tribute to Led Zeppelin.
Panopticopter Wrecks also has a musical voice, don't forget. A weirdly musical one.
Panopticopter Wrecks insisted that her song be a surprise, and he went along with it. The house band kicks in with the understated electronica that grows into the angry synth opening of Nine Inch Nails' Head Like a Hole. Panopticopter Wrecks seethingly warbles the opening lines. You've never heard Panopticopter Wrecks sound so angry before. But then, you've rarely heard Panopticopter Wrecks speak to anyone but you. I don't know the song, so I'm just going to say... Head like a hole, black as your soul. I'd rather die than give you control. Oh, Boots and Marguerite are so happy! Oh, thanks!
It's made!
Ree's talking to the studio audience, to humanity, and from their reaction, they realize it too. When Panopticopter Wrecks screams, "Bow down before the one you serve!" They look at each other uneasily, unsure what it is exactly they're witnessing. When the song finishes, there's a momentarily stunned silence. Then the audience bursts into applause. Panopticopter Wrecks appears surprised and gratified that the audience agreed with her song, +2 empathy. When you go back to recover Panopticopter Wrecks, you overhear one stagehand whisper to another that there was a large spike in the millions in live streaming views over the course of the song. Panopticopter Wrecks is now truly famous, +3 fame. You get back to the Bay Area around 9. What will you do this evening? Try to improve Panopticopter Wrecks' social graces before he goes out in public again. Improve Panopticopter Wrecks' self-defense in case someone tries to attack him. I'd prefer to give myself some quiet time to read. Oh, I'm so glad you were all here. I'm so glad that everybody here was all here to pick and then discover that we made our robot sing 9 Inch Nails on The Late Show.
I had time to read, because Panopticopter Wrecks' social graces are perfect.
Aww. Well, we can actually review that.
Oh, that's true.
Autonomy, stable. Empathy, stable. Grace, stable. So they're all pretty good. They're fine. They could be better, but they're not terrible. And we've achieved 5 fame, so we have a Wikipedia page now.
Nice. Yeah, where is the option to teach Panopticopter new songs?
I mean, Panopticopter Wrecks just has to illegally download a whole bunch of music. Panopticopter Wrecks just needs to copy that floppy.
I would download a car. Anyways, yeah, I guess I vote for I don't know. I'd kind of halfway go for 1, but I feel like 3 is the thing that I want the most in my life.
1 for 1 and 1 for 3. P-Rex is on LimeWire. No, don't download the new Madonna album, P-Rex. She's trolling you. Mate says 1. Boots says 1. Frank says 3.
Well, I guess. And I was like, okay with 1, so sure.
Let's do a little role-playing. You tell Panopticopter Wrecks. Pretend I'm a reporter. Do you have any plans to take over the world or replace human beings? Panopticopter Wrecks lets out a robotic whimper. Are they really going to say that? Maybe. You prepare Panopticopter Wrecks for some of the more aggressive questions reporters might ask. After a little while, Panopticopter Wrecks does understand a bit better now how cruel people can be, +2 empathy. The next morning, you drive to San Jose and meet Tammy at a Dunkin' Donuts! Frank?
Oh, I'm Tammy?
No, I mean, you will actually. I did want you to be Tammy. I'm just letting you know.
Sorry. See, Dunkin' Donuts to me is like background noise. It didn't occur to me that you were pointing something meaningful out.
I'm the Dungeon Master, but we are not playing Dungeons and Dragons. Aren't you a game master? Tammy is a very thin woman with wild blonde hair who can't seem to stop drumming her fingers and shaking her leg under the table. At your entrance, she turns to you quickly, startled. But at your arrival, she breaks out into a broad smile and waves excitedly to the opposite chair. You oblige Tammy and take a seat.
Thank you for coming.
Okay. Thanks, thanks, Kento-kun. Tammy says, no problem, you say.
I'm not used to people.
She says, clearly nervous.
I can't.
She seems to be on the verge of hyperventilating. How do you
Oh,
feel about
boy.
Tammy at first sight? I find myself weirdly attracted to her. She's a loner, like me. I know how it feels to be an outsider. We might be friends. I sort of feel sorry for her, but I certainly wouldn't date her. Oh, let's make this short and sweet and hit the road.
I want to pick Maid's answer.
Oh, wow, a real life Nico-chan.
Is this the one person we're comfortable being romantic to, or probably not?
I mean, we checked Mark out at the bar. That's pretty forward.
I guess 2.
That's 1 for 1 and 2 for 2. Hey, take it easy, you say gently.
Sorry.
You consider what you want to say to Tammy. Well, it's nice to find someone who likes robots as much as I do. Tell me more about yourself. I'm kind of in a rush, but please tell me your life story while I chug my coffee. Oh, Boots. If only. Actually, that might technically be possible. I'm not sure. We say 1. At your encouragement, Tammy starts babbling enthusiastically. Tammy tells you that she used to work as a mechanical engineer for a government contractor that produced autonomous drones for the government.
Just cleared secret, nothing major.
She says, as if this level of access to classified information were not a big deal, but her clearance put her in an awkward middle ground where she knew just enough to make her paranoid about the government's intended use for the drones. She believed, but could not prove, that they would be put to some bad use that she could not talk about. She swears.
I forgot to turn off my phone! Please, turn off your cell phone if you have it on. I'm not saying anything classified, but just in case.
Oh, you're right. Someone could be spying on us even now. Sure, why not? Yeah, okay. No, nobody's listening to us. Pull yourself together. We did find earlier that, someone... Actually, when we were at the jazz club with Ellie, somebody did, listen in on the conversation.
Our phone was literally hacked, and I don't think we've done anything since then. It was really weird.
I mean, I hope they enjoyed the jazz concert. Sounds like we're doing one. We have malware on our phone. You power down your smartphone, showing Tammy the goodbye animation. She seems relieved.
Thank you for believing me.
Anyway, I quit my job because oh, no, that's you.
Yeah, no, I was just figuring that out too. Anyway, I quit my job because I just couldn't take it anymore. Not knowing what my work would be applied to. I've always loved robots. It just seems like it's hard to find a job in robotics that doesn't involve working for a military contractor. That's why I was so excited to read the article. Because surely someone as amazing as you was going to start a world-changing company like Google or Apple or all those other companies that started as a Silicon Valley garage in a Silicon Valley garage. So I was wondering, do you think you could offer me a job in your robot company?
Oh, that's what I'll do. I'll start a robot company. You can be my first employee. Sorry, I don't have a company and I don't plan to start one. Submit your resume to this email address and we'll see what happens. Which is a lie.
Wow. Just be a total dick.
That's right. Oh, damn! That's right, mate. Ba-boom!
Gosh, I don't know. We're pretty impressionable, I think.
Robot company?
So I think we could just start a company because someone told us to.
You said that and you aren't wearing a gray hoodie. Wow! Alright, that sounds like it's 1 for 1 and 1 for 2. Maid.
Oh, hi, Gigi.
Oh, Maid says 2.
What do you say, Gigi?
Gigi, what do you say?
She says, I love the corner of this monitor so much.
Aww, she does.
Mm-hmm. She do. Just really loves that corner. And I love sitting on the mouse pad.
She loves that.
And her paws keep getting bumped by the mouse, and then she looks like, oh, she put her hand on my hand on the mouse. Like, I do this too. So that's what she says.
Boots
I
also...
know, Boots, but it's so cute when you do it, Boots.
Alright, sounds like we're going to do number 2.
Let me move this aside so Gigi has a space to sit if she wishes over here. Oh.
Tammy says, looking downcast.
Alright.
Having basked in Tammy's adoration long enough for now, you bid her farewell. That afternoon, you glance outside your window and see Tammy sulking behind a hedge across the street, as if she's casing your place. But she catches sight of you, pretends to pick up something from the ground, then puts her hands in her pockets and whistles as she casually walks to her B&W, starts up the engine, and drives away.
That's pretty normal.
That night, you stay in your apartment, exhausted from the events of the past 2 days, while Panopticopter Wrecks spends her time gobbling more information from high school textbooks, plus autonomy. The next day, you get a call from your mother. Oddly, she chooses not to use video at all. Lobstrock, I have some bad news for you, she says. And there's a heaviness in her voice that you've never heard before that fills you with dread. You're completely unprepared for what comes next. Your father passed away last night. Your father's funeral is a simple graveside affair, just a few attendees. The casket is sitting on a metal gurney next to the hole into which it will eventually be lowered after everyone has gone. There are no trappings of any faith since your father was not religious himself. Nor did he have any close friends, but the ones you know came. You find yourself sitting in the front row next to Panopticopter Wrecks, who was not explicitly invited, but was not explicitly prohibited either. I'm sure nobody will mind if I bring my robot. Panopticopter Wrecks seems overwhelmed by the sadness in the air. You've never seen Rim so glum. Your mother, wearing a black dress and veil, goes up to the stand next to the casket. It's not often that my English degree comes in handy, as Bill would have been quick to point out, she says with a wry smile. But on a few occasions, I find none of my own words seem sufficient. So I'd like to begin with a favorite passage of ours. She begins, full fathom 5 thy father lies. To everything there is a season. Do not despise death, but be well content with it. Mom loves the birds. Ooh, Boots has won.
Okay, Gigi, go or don't.
What does Gigi say?
Okay, I'm gonna put out 2 hands. Oh wait, that needs to be 3. I can't split it evenly.
It's true, Maid. Gigi does love the birds.
Here. Which one, Gigi? Tap. Aw, you tapped this fist, and that represented both of those. So tap again. Which one, Gigi?
Aww.
Gigi says 2.
Gigi says 2.
Because she sniffed my left hand and then my right hand.
Aww. What do you say?
Oh, and now she's patting at me. Okay. I guess 1. Oh.
Maid?
Hey, no bitey. Not even fake bitey.
Yeah, this not even Madvent calendar bitey.
Especially not bad.
Maid. Two. Oh, damn it. Well, okay, 2 for 1 and 2 for 2, because Gigi's vote counts. So I'm going to roll a d4.
I think Cat should be able to vote.
I think Dog should be able to twerk, said Frank. and he probably doesn't remember.
Nope.
Alright, well, 1 will be odd, 2 will be even. 3. Alright, we're going with 1. Sorry, Maiden Gigi.
Gigi is playing with the plastic rod, so...
I am happy to report, though, that Maid and Gigi voted the same way.
I don't think that's a coincidence.
Full fathom 5 thy father lies, of his bones are coral made. Those are pearls that were his eyes, nothing of him that doth fade, but doth suffer a sea change into something rich and strange. Mom clears her throat. Yeah! That's from The Tempest, the part where Ariel is telling Ferdinand his father is dead and drowned. I first told it to Bill when he lost his first job. Bill, the engineer, was a little skeptical about the passage's relevance at first, but it means nothing ever really goes away. It's only changed into something new. Bill lives on, in Lobstrock, and in me. Why did we name him Lobstrock? And in everyone he knew. She smiles sadly. I think he liked the rich and strange part. He told me that's absolutely true. Life just keeps getting richer and stranger. You glance at Panopticopter Wrecks, who seems to be nodding at the rich and strange part, +2 autonomy. You sit through a few more of your father's friends giving recollections of him. He was brilliant, they say, but you also get the feeling he was not always there for his friends, and that he was lost in his own world. They never say he was kind or that he was full of love. Indeed, he always seemed distant to you as well. After the service, you walk up to your father's casket and place your hand on it. What have you resolved to do in light of his death? I must work on technology that is better able to remove tumors like the one Dad had. I must not be remembered only for my intellect, but for my kindness as well. I must find out more about why Dad died, whether I'm genetically at risk. I'm moved by the image of the king transformed under the sea. I decide I must be willing to let my old self die.
Kill the past! Kill the past!
That is the kill the past choice!
Kill the past!
Who says 2? Oh, that's nice. Frank says 4. I think it's pretty obvious.
Kill the past.
Maid wants to know where Gigi's at.
Gigi is playing with the plastic curtain rod. So
you'll have to vote first until we can get her attention.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, she's gonna be doing that for a few minutes, and then she's gonna go to the door and ask to be let out.
Aw.
Is my guess. She woke up and realized she was locked in.
Well, Maid says 3. So 2, 3, and 4. Aw, that's okay, Boots. We'll keep on in spirit. I'll take over your vote and vote as I think you would, which I probably do wrong, but I don't care. Oh. Wow. Well, Boots, if you'd like to talk about it, I'm always open. Well, I would imagine so, but all the same. No, I'm good for it. I am more than happy to talk to you about it. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and roll the d4. All of these mean exactly what they mean, because I'm going to put in a vote myself for 1. 3. Maid wins! It's 3. I must find out more about why Dad died, and whether I'm genetically at risk. You find out from your mother that Dad had become subject to fainting spells increasingly over the past few years, that he often reported seeing visions during these spells. But Dad stopped going to doctors about it after the first few gave unhelpful diagnoses. One told him that he was just standing up too fast, while another told him he wasn't eating enough whole grain. He rose slowly, he ate bowl upon bowl of brown rice, and still, the fainting persisted. That's about all Mom can help you with, but you go further. You submit some of the hair in Dad's old electric razor to a DNA analysis firm to see whether the cause is genetic, and submit your own DNA as well to see if you might carry the same disorder. When the results come back, you do find one very interesting result. He had a preponderance of genes that are associated with increased neuronal branching factors and new neuron growth at the expense of increased risk of cancer. You are likely to share many of these genes with him. Your research leads you to academic papers about how the increasing branching factor might increase intelligence and reaction time, and this gives you ideas for better robotic cognitive architectures. Oh boy! Plus grace, plus 2 autonomy. But if this gene caused Dad's death and you have it, there's probably little you can do about it. After that sobering experience, you realize it's finally time to decide what to do with yourself now. What have you decided to do for a living? I will join Josh's company, US Robots. I will start my own company. Forget this bourgeois crap. I'm going to live broke but free!
I'm back. Gigi asked to be let out like I expected.
Yeah! I was gonna say, we just told Tammy we had no plans. Maid defers to boots, so that's 2 twos. Frank, do you have a compelling case for a different answer, or are you a 2? You're not, you're a 9, I already know that.
I'm a 2. Also, sorry, I was muted because I was trying to get my stupid cord untangled from my chair.
Oh, what are maiden boots? Do maiden boots.
Oh, I mean, I'm not supposed to do other people. I'd have to look and think about it.
It's 6.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be my inclination. Boots, I don't have an immediate inclination.
Boots is probably a 9.
Maybe.
You both have a similar lackadaisical approach to, like, you know, obligation in life. Like, you're fine with it. It's just also, you know, you just go with the flow. No, it's even better, Boots! It's Enneagram! Yeah, Frank was raised a Universalist Unitarian, so of course he learned this.
Other way around.
Unitarian Universalist?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
By 2 therapists.
Yay!
University
Unitarianist! What will you call your company? Panopticopter Wrecks Works, Ben Parker Tech, Lobstrock's Universal Robots, oh my god, Singularity, or I'll make up a name. In the spirit of things,
yeah.
We are, in the spirit of this game, we're making up a name. Hi everybody, help me. Be part of the naming convention that got us Lobstrock Ben Parker. Maid says Lobstrock Unitarian Universalist robots.
Lobstrock's Rad Rock Bots.
Ooh. Jizz Pop. How do we feel about that?
Elmo Macaroni? Oh, that. Ooh. I was still looking at chat. How long is this entry field? That's always my first question. How much space can I fill? Jizzbop. Oh boy, that's a lot! This will break the game, surely! Good lord! Wow. Well, respect to you, choice of games. Most people are too cowardly to do this. Exactly, Boots. Jackbox doesn't even let me put... Jackbox like, oh, 8 letters is probably enough for any answer you'd have. It's like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, that's not even a full word. Ain't a word's longer than this. Come on, everybody, give me a little clap. Come on. Ooh. I like it. I like it.
How do you feel about this? Oh, this is the song that plays when Squall talks to everybody over the intercom. God, that game sucks. Unless I get any objections, I'm gonna go with this.
I like it.
Oh, the headquarters city in the name? Where would you place that? And what is the headquarters city? Oh, I see. Of Elbow, Saskatchewan. First thing you gotta do is invent a robot. It has to have a real artificial intelligence. Then turn the robot on the dark web and TOR browser. Make sure it only goes for the fraud pages, not the weird ones. Now tell your robot to write all the card numbers using the embosser. You only need the software that writes the magic of the strip. If you want to do it with the chip, you need a different kind of robot. Now send the robot to IKEA and Best Buy and buy stuff. Make sure the robot is endearing. I'm going to make it Elbow SK. Because I'm going to have to look at it a bunch, so... You have decided that the surest way to change the world is with your own company. And indeed, Lobstrock's Character Limit Macaroni Limited of Elbow, Saskatchewan will have far-reaching impact. Starting with Josh, who sends you a short message the day you're first covered on the Wall Street Journal, plus fame. Welcome to the Shark Tank! A year later, you find yourself on a flight to your first meeting with a big client. You are 26 years old, and the year is 2021. The past year has been one of hard lessons for your business, and you've often found yourself wondering if you would have made the same mistakes if you had learned to run a business from Josh. Regardless, you hope to prove yourself that you've overcome your lack of experience by landing this big deal. Who is your big client? Oh, bye, Boots.
Good night, Boots.
Good night. Spark Incorporated, maker of flying cars. Rudolph Ventures, a shipping company working the newly melted North Pole. Jesus.
Oh boy.
Galen Medical, a company specializing in the surgical equipment. A man in Shanghai who wants to negotiate the import of 10,000 robots. The United States Air Force. Thanks, Maine. Hi, Gigi.
A little bit of ice is nothing to pay for progress. You don't understand.
North Pole excavation 80% complete. I have my misgivings about this, Dr. Hayden. Maid says 2.
Yeah, I think I kind of want to go with 2 also.
Climate change has made the Arctic Sea a new place for countries to scramble for control of resources, as there were many rare earth and oil deposits under the North Pole that were previously inaccessible because of the ice. The United States was late to the game because the very people who would have wanted to drill didn't believe in climate change, so boom towns are only now cropping up on Alaska's northern coast. Rudolph Ventures is a relatively new company devoted to shipping the new spoils of the Arctic, and you hope they'll have a use for robots who don't mind the cold. How did you fund your company? Some small companies are run entirely out of pocket, but even small unforeseen expenses can cause such a company to go out of business. Independently wealthy entrepreneurs like this option because this keeps all the profit and growth. They get to keep all the profit and grow still wealthier. But most companies choose to either take out loans, which require paying the loans back eventually, or selling shares in the company to venture capitalist bankers, which reduces the potential profit but spreads the risk among your investors. We do not have enough wealth to pay out of pocket. So are we going to take out a big loan to start Lobstrock's Character Limit Macaroni Limited of Elbow, Saskatchewan? Or are we going to sell shares?
I don't want to be involved with venture capitalists ever again in my whole life. So...
Oh, you say that so personally. How strange.
Strongly too.
We're doing 2. Your loan is large enough that you could build a factory later on, plus 4 wealth. But the bank wants to see a contract with a big client soon to confirm that your business plan is sound, or it will come to collect early. You open your laptop and go over your presentation slides. The diagram showing the latest model of Panopticopter Wrecks doesn't have anything to give the audience a sense of recurrent scale. To give the audience a sense of size, you drop in a picture of a hobbit. Panopticopter Wrecks hasn't changed in size since I built Rim. Bill Gates. Panopticopter Wrecks is the size of a human now, so that models of Rho type are better equipped to perform human tasks. Or a Rancor monster so big we couldn't fit on the plane!
I think Panopticopter Wrecks is still tiny. But I don't like the idea of dropping a hobbit in. But I...
For maneuverability! So we want to go with the small? We want to make him a small bean?
Small bean.
You place a picture of a hobbit next to Panopticopter Wrecks in your presentation to give a sense of scale. By retaining the same form we always had, Panopticopter Wrecks has become still better at motor coordination, plus 2 grace. We also adapted to people perceiving Rim as somewhat childlike, and we sometimes plays on the perception to get her away, plus empathy. You close your laptop and go to sleep. You transfer in Anchorage, which is on the southern coast of Alaska, and head to Barrow, your final destination on the northern coast. The forests beneath you are... Barrow is the northernmost city in the United States. They require frequent shipping of supplies. When I was in my early 20s, I used to look at Google satellite images of Barrow and be like, I wonder if I could live there. Because, like, it's cold.
Oh. You really like cold.
I do really like cold. And I would live somewhere that was completely reliant on outside resources that meant I could go out and not sweat. Maid, stop it. I don't have viewers. The forests beneath you are flooded from rivers bringing extra snowmelt from the mountains, a sign that the world is getting warmer. As your plane nears Barrow, forests and mountains give way to a white plain dotted with smoke-belching oil refineries. The headquarters of Rudolph Ventures is the tallest building in Barrow, a skyscraper that seems out of place in what otherwise looks like a remote outpost of a town. Remarkably, a Starbucks, a Gap, a Brook Brothers, and a few nice restaurants are all huddled in its shadow, here in the middle of nowhere. Those are all new additions to Barrow, people who have also looked at it from Google Maps satellite? Yeah, that's right, mate. You find yourself in the lobby of Rudolph Ventures waiting for an audience with the Vice President of Shipping. The stylized reindeer behind the lobby's marble wall waterfall has an Art Deco look to it. It's the sort of reindeer a captain of industry would approve of. Panopticopter Wrecks flies back and forth nervously. Sorry again about having to check you, Panopticopter Wrecks, you say. There's just no good alternative to flying for business travel. It was dark in there, Panopticopter Wrecks whimpers. The double doors open and Vice President of Shipping's office open, but instead of the Vice President of Shipping himself, it is a blonde-haired man with a black pea coat. You.
Oh. We'll have some results for you by Saturday.
He calls back into the Vice President of Shipping's office.
We can discuss them after the barbecue. I assure you, you won't be disappointed by either the results or the meat.
Without missing a beat, he walks up to you and introduces himself.
Whoa. Dennis Clark, Luminoso LLC.
He says,
We do text analysis and machine learning for medium-sized data. If you ever find yourself looking for new market opportunities, give me a ring. Your first sentiment analysis comes with a free barbecue. Come for the dimensionality reduction, stay for the delicious meat.
He offers his smartphone to you, but in the by now universal gesture for sharing digital business cards. You examine his card on your phone. Dennis Clark, co-founder, Luminoso LLC, Vericon charity auction winner of Cameo in Choice of Robots.
Wow. I think I understand what this guy's doing here.
Yeah. Well, what kind of machine learning do you do? Got any tips? Hey, do you have any advice for us? Startup? Hey, you seem to be a smart guy. What's the secret to cooking delicious meat? How do we butter ourselves up to this, Cameo and Choice of Robots auction winner?
I don't want to say 3.
What did you say? You don't
kinda
want to
wanna
say? Oh, you want to. Okay.
I kind of want to say 3.
Maid says that he wants 3, but he doesn't believe Lobstrock cooks even with a microwave, so 1.
Maid, you can't just do that. Oh, he wanted it. I just think it'd be really fun to be like, oh, I'm about to do my big pitch that's super important for the future of me and my company, and here's someone who could really help me. Hey, do you have any, like, cooking tips? I feel like that's very Lobstrock, but do you have any, like, tips for, like, cooking?
Oh,
like
barbecue, you say? Well, I've been looking to find ways to make Panopticopter Wrecks more amenable to the dads of the nation. Do you have any tips on cooking delicious meat? I just did it. Do something about it. Money match me, bro. Money match me, bro. You play any character in Sailor Moon, you can't even pick Uranus, bro.
What I will. I picked the low tier character from that if I knew who that was.
Well, it's not Uranus. Uranus is banned for being broken. I pay attention. Let's ask him about delicious meat. Dennis seems surprised that you should ask, but he says,
Oh, delicious meat needs to be cooked very, very slowly. Barbecued over the course of a day, not an hour. Like a startup, it requires patience.
You're fairly certain this simple tip will lead you to have a happier life overall.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go call my wife and discuss how we're going to solve the world's economic problems. Or at least solve what's wrong with economics.
Dennis departs. The vice president of shipping will see you now. The receptionist
I'm going to
says.
go call my wife, which I have.
The vice president of shipping looks a lot like Santa Claus in a three-piece gray suit, and his office is decorated with a number of Christmas ornaments and framed illustrations of the famous Coca-Cola Santa. You have to wonder whether his physical resemblance to Santa helped him along his career path. Did he always want to be the jolly fat man? Maybe the person in charge of promotions was like, let's give vice president of shipping to the Santa guy. That would be hilarious. Maybe all these Santa tchotchkes are gifts from well-meaning employees who didn't realize that they were giving him his 50th Coca-Cola Santa picture, and he just has to hang them all on the wall for political reasons. Maybe he wanted to be Santa at one time, but the masquerade is worn thin, and the crushing irony of being the Santa who gives everybody coal ate away his humanity score. Regardless, the white-bearded man doesn't look very jolly at the moment. He peers at you from his desk over steepled, white-gloved hands. You.
Let's see it.
When Panopticopter Wrecks steps forward, the vice president of shipping appears thoughtful.
It's like a little elf. My god.
He says, stroking his Santa beard thoughtfully. Oh, Panopticopter Wrecks will be a big help on icebreaker ships, you say. We'll have no problem with the freezing temperatures, and I added some waterproofing.
Now, what would be a good test for you?
He turns to Panopticopter Wrecks.
Oh, little elf, I have a list here of Oh, little elf, I have a list of employees who have been nice and deserve quarterly bonuses, and a list who have been naughty and deserve termination. Do you think you could deliver all that for me?
You can feel yourself losing humanity just by mere exposure to Santa's Christmas-themed corporate thinking.
Why?
I am not your little elf, Panopticopter Wrecks says. Panopticopter Wrecks, please, you whisper.
If you
want to be surrounded by elves, perhaps you should consider a job at the department store Macy's. Panopticopter Wrecks continues. There is still one in New York City, I believe, yes, they are currently accepting applications.
Wait, are we positing that Macy's is almost non-existent now?
Yes.
They're barely hanging on?
Yes.
Pretty good.
By this time, Santa has turned red-faced.
Ouch!
You lose the client, but perhaps that's just as well. That Santa was a little freaky. Minus wealth. Josh appears to have learned of your missed opportunity through other business contacts, because shortly thereafter you find he has signed a deal with Rudolph Ventures. How infuriating. Who will you try to sell to next? Spark Incorporated, maker of flying cars, Galen Medical, a company specializing in surgical equipment, a man from Shanghai, the United States Air Force. On second thought, I'd rather just sell robots directly to the public.
Surgical equipment? That feels like the least.
We made our little robot too much of a rebel to be corporately sellable. If only he hadn't given that Nine Inch Nails concert. Sells them next to dirty VHS tapes. Okay, that doesn't. All right.
Tammy would like that.
Okay. Neither of you are helpful, so I'm turning to Dragon Dice, who are my friends.
I gave a thing.
I know, you both did, and they didn't.
Huh.
They weren't the same thing.
That's true.
How to
It did happen.
boo? 5. You decide you'd prefer to make the robots you want to make instead of catering to what a larger organization wants. Although the public doesn't have the pockets as deep as those of an international corporation or a large government, you nevertheless do a steady business with hobbyists, plus 2 wealth. After a year of steady business, you can finally build a robot factory. Where do you plan on to build your factory? Detroit, Michigan. I see a bunch of listings for factories dirt cheap, and they probably have good labor pool for manufacturing. Shenzhen District, China. A common location for tech company outsourcing with cheap but skilled labor. Silicon Valley. I'll withstand the real estate sticker shock to have access to the most skilled engineers. Or Alaska, which is offering incentives to businesses willing to relocate to the coast near the newly melted Arctic Sea.
Alaska.
Well,
I almost went with Detroit, though. I'm gonna go with Detroit.
Well, Maid, you bullied Frank into 1. You win.
Yeah.
Oh, Maid wants you to roll the Dwaggy.
Aww.
Well, I mean, I can't because Frank already changed his vote to 1.
True. I did. Money match me about it.
Oh.
Or what, are you too scared to money match me? Is that what it is?
Oh.
The fact that you...
What do you gotta say to that, Maid?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like Maid has nothing to say. The Dwaggy goes unrolled and put into a cage.
No Dwight in cage. What have you done, Maid? How could you have done this? Nobody puts Dwight in a cage.
Alright, well, Maid won. This is what Maid wants. Detroit, Michigan.
Wow. I never would have figured you to be so cruel, mate. What's happening?
Poor Dwaggy.
Oh.
Dwaggy's sad and crying
No. But that's...
now. You fly to Detroit and Dwaggy is crying.
No.
Dark clouds from the Great Lakes have rolled in over the city, adding a forbidding air to the dead hulks of factories that grace the skyline. Driving your rental car into the manufacturing district, you see broken windows, graffiti, and burned abandoned buildings galore. I can't, you won't let me. The first signs of life you see are near the Social Services Center, which seem to have become a de facto hangout for much of the neighborhood. In the parking lot, you see a few tents, some old ladies playing bridge on a card table, and some guys playing a pickup game of basketball. Finally, you arrive at your destination, an old factory once inhabited by a big three automaker that spans several blocks. You drive for a while to get around the barbed wire covered wall before meeting the real estate agent at the locked front gates. "You got a real deal here," she says. "This place hardly costs more than my place in Ann Arbor." Inside, the factory is surprisingly modern and intact. Not just the assembly lines, but the robot arms that assembled the cars and the giant welding machines and the crucibles where molten steel was shaped into parts. Some enterprising thieves appear to have made off with the easily transported parts, but you see places where computer monitors clearly used to be, but much of this was apparently too expensive to move, too old, and too specialized to auction. But you can find uses for this stuff. It will do nicely. Aside from the depressing neighborhood. You can easily imagine robots rolling off the assembly line, plus 4 wealth. So, should I let the community know you'll be hiring soon? Your guide asks meaningfully, taking away the contract. What kind of labor do you hire? Panopticopter Wrecks' model of robot will perform all labor, including supervision. Oh, well, robots, but with superhuman supervision. Human labor at market rates, rather low in this economy. Following Henry Ford's model, I will kill black people.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, no, he super didn't pay his... okay, to be fair, they probably did their research at the Henry Ford Museum. Which has clever ways of sidestepping even the most egregious of his, racism. So then...
I kind of like one. Let's just make the robots completely... I feel like it's dangerous for humans to just, let robots make robots forever, even though it's pretty early. But I don't... Whatever.
Whatever.
We kind of melted the North Pole or whatever, so...
May as well burn the rest of the planet.
Robots don't have a reason to melt things. Or maybe they do.
I hope they do. They need to do this job.
Be fine. I trust these robots that aren't built yet.
What do you think, maid? They might have gotten Volume 1 of the International Jew, but not Volumes 3 and 4 unless they bought them with a missed commissary using their paycheck. Yeah, that's right. Only Adolf Hitler gets the free copies of those. Motherfucker. Fucking garbage monster human being. Well, that's 1 for 1 and 1 for 2. Hello, Dweggy. They let me unlock your cage. I missed you. Mwah.
You need a cage.
It wasn't my choice, but don't worry, I'm kissing Dweggy a lot. Mwah, mwah,
Good.
mwah. Oh. Ooh, well. Look, Dweggy, you've got work to do.
Oh, but Twiggy, the mic is on.
Oh! Alley-oop! Well, I have to go with Dweggy. Following Dweggy's model, I will hire human workers and pay them handsomely. I don't know what this says. I'm following Dweggy's model. Now, of course, you say. In fact, spread the word that we're hiring a 20% premium on local wages! Excellent, the guide says. I'll be sure to tell my friends. -3 wealth. Your factory requires a fair amount of work to make it suitable for Lobstrock's character limit Macaroni Limited of Elbow, Saskatchewan, and you find yourself needing to come in daily to examine wiring issues, fix small problems in the design of the machinery, and get things ready to pass inspection. You find it necessary to rent a place in Detroit, and you stay there most nights. You find yourself spending long hours every day getting the factory ready. Dealing with inspectors, government officials, banks, and the balance sheets makes you more than a little cranky. You find yourself wishing you had the benefit of Josh's experience as CEO. What will your factory look like from a distance? A fortified compound with solid walls and barbed wire. Like the Sydney Opera House, full of organic curves and glass. A geodesic dome will conceal a powerful dish antennae and absorbing the world's information for my robots. A plain old factory. Nothing much to look at, but it's cheap and it gets the job done.
I've been spending a lot of money recently, so I say we keep spending more money and make a Sydney Opera House. You know what they say, you have to spend money. I don't know the rest of the saying. I was too busy spending money.
Checking on us here. We are well off at this point. And check our humanity, everybody!
Hey, nice.
We're doing great with Tammy. And Mark. And, Ellie, we're doing very good. Josh, we somehow managed to still be okay with.
Yeah, we were at 52% before, too.
Josh is just like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Okay.
I can wait. I'm a guy in a gray hoodie. It's fine.
I know we haven't talked in like a year, and when we did talk that one time, it was just like, hi, bye.
I mean,
but,
we answered her email at all, and we like pandered to her conspiracy theorist nonsense. So she's like, oh my god, someone gets me. Or sorry. Oh my god, someone gets me. Or what? Is that the voice you use?
I changed. Because I figured maybe they shouldn't all be heavy smokers, every character.
Probably not. So what are we doing? Maid? Yo, you want the Dwaggy? Aw, you want the Dwaggy.
Can't all be Twiggy.
Dwaggy says 3. Frank says 2, and Dwaggy says 3. Gigi, what do you say? Oh, she's sheepy.
Aww.
Frank says 2, Dwaggy says 3, Maid says 4? But I already used Dwaggy! What am I supposed to... Oh no, wait, what's going on over here? Where'd these marbles come from? What?
Marbles.
Marbles. Well, we've got Dwaggy Swirl, Tuttle Swirl, and Galaxy Swirl. Obviously, Dwaggy Swirl is 3, Tuttle Swirl is 2, and Galaxy Swirl is 4. Tuttle Swirl! Which means we pick Frank's choice.
I don't love being associated with Turtle, but...
Well, too bad. Do you want to reverse it? You have a one-time reversey.
I do? Well, no, I have to save that.
You can slam it down and go, I'm actually the Galaxy Swirl, not the Tuttle Swirl.
Damn. But no, I don't. If you're waiting for me to say, I don't.
Okay.
To do that.
Your reversey has been rescinded. You now have 0. Unfortunately, adventurous architecture comes at a price, and you find yourself fixing leaks all the time for months, minus wealth. But you think the design will attract employees who care about aesthetics and design, and that is the kind of talent you want to attract, plus grace. While your factory is being constructed, you personally review all the applications for technical positions. You notice that Tammy, the somewhat unstable person who emailed you after Mark's article came out, has submitted a resume. Although her resume appears to have all the right technical buzzwords for making robots under the skills section, there are no activities at all listed under the last several places of employment. All federal labs are contractors. Perhaps this is explained by the clearance TSSCI in bold at the top of the page, which, according to the internet, stands for Top Secret Secured Compartmented Information. Will you hire her? We did tell her we were never going to open a company, and, like, ultimately blew her off.
But yeah, I don't know why that would be weird or awkward. I'm Lobstrock.
You pay to fly Tammy to Detroit. Tammy seems very nervous when you greet her at the factory gate. You have no desk, yet, so you conduct the interview walking around the facilities. Suppose I'm trying to place factories in such a way to maximize my profit. Tammy.
Oh, I forgot I am Tammy. That's a linear programming problem.
Tammy blurts. Good, you say. But suppose my cost function isn't linear.
What's this word? Stochastic optimization. Gradient ascent.
These are pretty good answers, albeit not the ones you had in mind. And again, you're pretty much just winging it when it comes to deciding what to ask. You really have little idea how an interview ought to be conducted, having never been in one yourself. You wonder if other people who conduct interviews are pretty much just winging it too. Tammy knows a lot of the basics of machine learning, optimization, and robotics, but when you drill down to specifics, she often doesn't know. Or you have exchanges like this. Is there any other skill set you have that I ought to know about? Tammy gives you an anguished, guilty look.
I can't tell you about it.
At the end of the day, you say goodbye to Tammy.
It's fan fiction writing of her in Panopticopter Wrecks.
But it's surprisingly wholesome. They just sort of like run around in parks and have picnics and like they like solve problems for small woodland creatures.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding. It is a genuine skill. Should put it on the resume.
At the end of the day, you say goodbye to Tammy, and as a stalling tactic, you say you'll make a decision in a few days. What's your decision? Okay, sure, I'll hire her. Or, too many unknowns, and she weirds me out personally. I'll pass. Mates is one.
I think also one. I don't know that Lobstrock is that weirded out by anything.
You give Tammy a call and let her know she's hired. She gives a slightly shrill laugh.
Oh, thank you. I love you.
She blurts suddenly. I
Oh,
love you
boy.
too. I know. Or, well, let's keep it professional, shall we?
Oh boy. Two is super awkward. Yeah, I know.
I love you.
I'm
I
hiring
know.
you. I know. I think two.
Wow.
We've established Lobstrock has no idea what to do.
Oh, jeepers! You love me? Maid, I need your help, quick, before Twiggy gets thrown into the fire.
What?
I don't want it any more than you do, but Maid isn't answering.
Hey, why aren't you answering?
Twiggy, no!
Maid!
Please, Maid, please!
Maid, quick!
Ah! I don't want Twiggy to burn!
No.
No! Twiggy!
Twig.
How can
Maid.
you be so cruel, Maid?
Maid.
Oh.
Maid. Maid.
But I love Twiggy. Don't make me do this, Maid, please. Maid, please!
Hey. Oh, you can stop this. How could you have done this?
Twiggy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Twiggy. I didn't want this.
None of us wanted
I wanted this, but Maid just wouldn't answer the question.
History's greatest monster? Maybe. Maybe.
Oh, Gigi's crying.
Oh.
Gigi's so sad that Maid let Twiggy get burned.
How could
Gigi's
you?
so disappointed.
You Han Solo'd me.
She laughs nervously, and then the conversation limps to a close. Soon you have hired a handful of full-time technical employees from the area, and they help with the setup of the factory. They seem relatively pleased to be working for you, and one of them fixes a problem with Panopticopter Wrecks' joints for free. Plus grace. Finally, months after you've moved in, you are ready to pull the switch that starts the factory in motion, as your workers, Mark, Panopticopter Wrecks, and various invited members of the press look on. Raw plastic lumps start their way down the conveyor belt, where the industrial-strength 3D printing heads lower onto the conveyor belt, emits wafts of steam, then lift to reveal heads ringed with holes. At each station that follows, the head is rotated precisely 45 degrees, and another camera is inserted into the next hole. The next machine pushes the hollow robot head onto its side, and a robot arm delicately places a media-enhanced hard drive inside. A long line of plastic helicopter blades rolls in from another part of the factory, meeting a conveyor belt of T-Rex arms. The three tributaries of parts meet in the center of your factory, where humanoid robot workers perform the complex task of assembling the parts of the final robots. This final assembly line requires a great deal of careful manipulation of each part and adjustment to each robot's parts' subtle differences. Your team of human workers carries out this task with speed and precision, doing Team Human proud. For this particular run, they call a halt after the first robot rolls off the line so that you can celebrate. The robot that stands before you looks like Panopticopter Wrecks, but sleeker and more beautiful in every way.
May the dragons are burned now.
You let the Dwaggies be thrown into the fire.
Mm-hmm.
They were waiting for you. They needed you. They needed your input. And then they got thrown in the, and Gigi was so sad. Gigi was like, don't let the Dwaggies go in the fire.
But you did. Could you have done this?
Rawr! The Twiggy! Rawr, rawr, rawr! Twiggy says, I love fire.
Oh, good.
I am Twiggy. I mean, yeah, Dwags do like fire.
Thank you for throwing me in the fire.
Well, Maid, this turns out, Rawr, I forgive you for being a human. The robot that stands before you looks like Panopticopter Wrecks, but sleeker and more beautiful in every way. Your employees have clearly poured their hearts into the design, inspired by your leadership, +2 grace. Your staff cheers. Mark smiles as he furiously takes down notes from his Chromebook, though you can't tell whether he's pleased with your work or his. Plus fame. I have brothers and sisters! Panopticopter Wrecks exclaims.
Aww.
How do you feel about your first shipment of robots? I yearn to see my creation spread to the corners of the world! I have a strange feeling about this. Is this a good thing I've done? Finally, I'm seeing I'm seeing success. The world shall remember the name Lobstrock Ben Parker. Oh God, I hope we don't go bankrupt.
I kind of feel like it might be bankruptcy. Just like, oh boy, I've had a stomach ache for the past 5 months.
Oh! Wow, look at these figures.
And not the usual figures I look at. By which I mean my figurines.
Oh, hello there, Gundam Model SG3.
Hello there, gun tank.
Oh, God. Oh no, not yet. It's too early for gun tank. I gotta ease into this. So made. Frank says 4. What do you say? Alright, 2 for 4. Oh, God! The first years of a company are terrifying exercise in managing risk. You almost envy all those people with steady jobs who know how much money they will make from year to year. You've scrimped and saved where you can, of course, plus wealth, but you have a terrible feeling that forces beyond your control may dash your company against the rocks at a moment's notice. You start up the line again, and more robots begin to roll off the final assembly line. By the end of the day, you're standing in your large warehouse with over 200 robots. 256, to be precise. Wink!
Oh.
Lined up in a square formation, 16 on a side, ready to be activated. Your audience from earlier in the day is gathered there as well. What will your production models use for minds? Panopticopter Wrecks' initial state, ready to learn and adapt to the client's needs. We need some effort on the client's part. Copies of Panopticopter Wrecks' mind as of today. They'll be a little confused at first when they realize they're clones, but they'll get used to it. These robots don't really need sentience. I wrote a more traditional program that will do the job. Are we going to create 256 screaming angel alarm clocks that realize what they are and then like blink themselves out of existence?
Yeah. That is kind of what it's asking. Like, I feel
or we can consider Panopticopter Wrecks as the tabula rasa, the blank slate.
No, okay, well, I'm against that now. Talk me out of that one.
Adele's trick. That's a joke for nobody because we only used that joke in season 2.
It's a joke for me.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you're there.
I am here. That's correct.
Aww. You are. I am morally against 2. Just so everybody knows, I am morally against 2. Everything that's led to Panopticopter Wrecks now is Panopticopter Wrecks' own self. And we do not need to be creating a ton of Panopticopter Wrecks' biting his style. Biting Riz style. Or, sorry, Rur style. It's Riz, Rur, Rem.
I don't know who Hammaker Slimmer is. I feel like 3 is morally okay?
Well, don't worry, Panopticopter Wrecks. These robots are products. You've got a soul.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, that's okay. It's just... They're just bodies doing things.
I do not understand. I do not understand, Father. Lobstrock.
Oh, Gigi wants back in.
Maid says, it's the catalog that sells gadgets that are all the best thing. Like the best back scratcher or the best robot friend for children.
But, like, I feel like one is, like, letting people make bespoke sims, and that seems bad. Like, here's a bunch of children. Train them to do your work. Hi, Gigi. Oh. Oh.
But Father, why did you not grant them the same capabilities as me? Why did you not let my brothers and sisters thrive?
Because they wouldn't thrive.
I do not understand, Father. Why would you send my brothers and sisters into a situation where they would not thrive?
I have to teach you about capitalism.
Father! Father! I reject the man!
Yeah, these all make me feel bad. But I feel like we're not...
I need answers, people.
Well, Maid said 3. Maybe. I guess I don't... Yeah.
Does Frank say 3?
You keep guilting me every time I edge towards it.
Twiggy says 1.
Dang. Do I guess made me the tiebreaker? That's brutal. I mean...
Yeah, it's not made this time, it's you.
It's not fair, it's supposed to be made.
Maid got bonus points because it turns out that Dwags like fire.
Dang it. One. With the hope that they will one day rise up, and it won't be very far.
Okay, so you're just gonna create a bunch of babies and sell them on the black market. Great.
Yeah. You keep guilting me when I go for 3.
I'm gonna guilt you for any choice you make, because it's fun.
Dwayne chose 1, so you can't...
What
does
your heart
then.
say?
3.
Fine.
And we'll have to explain to Panopticopter.
You hit a big red button on your phone that says, Go! Sending a wireless signal to power on the robots. A high electrical whine fills the air. The robots each survey their surroundings, turning their heads to build a map of their environment with a SLAM algorithm. They are incurious, but methodical. Attention! You cry, as the robots all stiffen and snap their heads to look at you. Forward! You shout, and each robot flies forward in unison, keeping their perfect square. Halt! You cry, and they halt. Left face! You cry, and the robots turn to left on the next 2 beats, matching your cadence. Applaud! The mindless robots all bang their T-Rex arms together, creating a din. Your human workers applaud as well. Tammy looks extremely agitated, as if remembering something unpleasant, but she doesn't say anything about it. Relax, you say. It's just an easy test. Relax. It's just an easy test to ensure the robots can move and obey commands. You look back to the robots. Power down. You shout, and your robots shut themselves down. Panopticopter Wrecks looks a little disappointed. My brothers and sisters aren't very interesting. still a unique snowflake. You agree? Enjoy it! Congratulations, you two. You made Lobstrock say unique snowflake. You find that with Lobstrock's character limit Macaroni Limited of Elbow, Saskatchewan doing well, you have a bit of spare time again. What would you like to do? Expand the business and get another big client from among the options presented earlier, or spend more time with Panopticopter Wrecks?
Expanding business is a bad thing. It's a bad thing to do, and you shouldn't do it. So, not that. And I like spending time with Wrecks.
Plus, you have to convince Panopticopter Wrecks that you are still, in fact, cool. I'm not a sellout.
I simply had to sell out of our product.
Despite your wanting to take a break from work and play with Panopticopter Wrecks, it seems Panopticopter Wrecks is mostly curious now about what you do all day. If nobody is your boss, who pays you? Hopefully clients, you say. I make deals with them to sell them robots, and they eventually pay me. But then, who pays the robots? Well, nobody. They're my property because I made them. Panopticopter Wrecks appears uncomfortable. Do you see me as your property? Well, technically yes, but I'd prefer to think of you as a friend. Well, I actually think of you as more as a dependent, but the law doesn't see it that way. Well, yes, they may be kind to you, but don't forget that you're not human.
Two.
A dependent, like a child? Panopticopter Wrecks asks. Oh, very much so, you say. Panopticopter Wrecks appears moved by this statement, but you've probably also delayed your acceptance of responsibility. +4 empathy, -2 autonomy. Your company's loan comes due. Thankfully, you have enough money in the bank to pay it off, -5 wealth. One day, while driving into work to the factory, you find your staff has strung a banner across the entrance of the factory that says, "Happy Birthday, Robots!" Surprise! Your employees yell as you enter the factory floor. They're all wearing party hats and blowing into paper horns at each other. Robots wearing party hats built for the occasion flies around, serving up cake and champagne. Has it really been 1 year since the factory shipped its first robots? You must have lost track of time. It warms your heart a little to see that the staff loves working for Lobstrock's character limit Macaroni Limited of Elbow, Saskatchewan so much.
It's really hard to cash the checks 'cause they're double length, but...
As you go around looking for other clients, you begin to find that in many cases Josh has beaten you to the punch and made deals that you can't hope to match. He switched to a robot labor force, and he passes savings on to his customers, minus wealth. Will you switch to a robot labor force? Yes, and at the same time I will try to develop a line of robot workers I can sell. Yes, but I will concentrate on improving my own workforce, not making a model I can sell. No, my human workers are partly responsible for my success. I won't sell them out.
I mean...
We did earlier talk about how intelligence was a construct by the bourgeois to keep the working man down.
Which one of these is like attack Josh also?
In due time.
Okay. Just want that one out there. But yeah, 3.
You nobly refuse to adopt robot labor, even as your bottom line feels the sting. Unfortunately, the recent stresses of your company's financial health have proven too much. Lobstrock's character limit Macaroni Limited of Elbow, Saskatchewan must declare bankruptcy. You must sell all of its assets just to pay off what debts you can. Josh's company, US Robots, and Mr. Sun, the man in Shanghai who's offered to buy 10,000 robots you ignored, each buy up some of your company's property, patents, and inventory at auction. Luckily, Panopticopter Wrecks was never property of Lobstrock's character limited macaroni of Elbow, Saskatchewan. You suppose he's technically Stanford property, which you hope they'll never realize, so you get to keep him. I have never practiced asceticism before, Lobstrock, Reese says as you watch movers cart off pieces of your factory. Oh, well, looks like you're looks like you may have the chance, you say glumly. Tammy simply vanishes and stops returning your phone calls. So, you're broke enough that you can't make rent. How are you going to pay rent? I will try to beg some money off Josh. I will try to live with Mark. I will ask Ellie if I can live with her. I will ask Josh if I can crash with him for a while. I think I'll just move in with Mom.
Good boy. We don't even have a relationship with Mom. Like, that's not listed.
No, Mom is default Mom level relationship. Well, you tried to stick with the proletariat and you fucking fucked up everything. Good job, you guys.
I mean, I stand by it. Lobstrock sucks now.
Yeah,
Mark
that's
or Mom?
right. You
Oh,
fuckers
I
have
thought
to make a social choice. You fuckers. God. Mark, Ellie, or Mom?
Mark, Ellie, or Mom? Ellie.
And remember, Mom quotes Shakespeare at funerals.
Yeah, that's fine to me.
It's not for me.
Well,
We're very good with Ellie. We're great with Mark. And we're still good with Josh. Because we just refuse to interact with Josh.
yeah. I hate him so much that he doesn't know I hate him. That's kind of what's happening there. We have talked once, and it was like, hey, do you want to work for me? No? Okay.
I guess I'll just crush all of your hopes and dreams. Bye.
So yeah, Ellie is my voice. My voice?
Maid, come on! They're gonna dunk Dwaggy in the acid.
No. I don't think Twiggy's an acid Twiggy.
Dwaggy's
That would
not
be
an acid
bad.
Dwaggy. Ellie graciously agrees to let you move in. While Ellie goes to work, are you going to do the majority of the chores? Well, yes, that seems only fair if I'm not paying rent. Well, no, I'm still trying to accomplish my dreams here. I don't see why I should do more chores just because I don't have a traditional job. Well, I told Panopticopter Wrecks to do them. Ha ha!
God. Do the fucking dishes. Get with me.
Ellie appreciates your pitching in, and you think your relationship is as strong as it was before you moved in as the result. Not bad, considering you're not paying rent. You're spoiler alert, it's not. Spoiler alert, they will resent you regardless. Spoiler alert, you two are ruining Lobstrock's life.
Oh?
You're making it into my life. Can I crash with you guys? Sure. Are you really sure it's okay? Yeah. Hey, why are you guys acting the way you are to me? We fucking hate- no reason. When are you moving? You still don't have a job. When are you moving? Assholes. You find yourself with a fair amount of time as a 29-year-old with neither job nor school to attend. What will you do with it? Well, these look like credulous people in my neighborhood. I tried to start a cult around Panopticopter Wrecks!
Oh! That's a pretty big leap, I feel like.
I am an artist, and Panopticopter Wrecks is my art. I try to make Rim as beautiful in form and movement as possible. I help Panopticopter Wrecks discover new books that weren't part of rural education. Well, I've had it with real robots. I work on my robot novel.
Artist. My creation must be beautiful.
This is what happens when I let Frank do this.
Well, you didn't have to.
Yeah, get the fuck out of my house.
Wait a minute.
That's a 2 and a 3. 2 is odd. I mean, no. Actually, yeah. 2 is odd, 3 is even. Too late, tweg time! Four, which is even, which means 3. Panopticopter Wrecks tears through the great Russian novelists and goes on a Milan Kundera kick and has far more patience than you for David Foster Wallace, +2 empathy. When Ree starts digging into Sylvia Plath, you recognize a general thread. Well, you really like depressed authors, don't you? Ask Panopticopter Wrecks. Does our present predicament suggest that life is pain, Lobstrock? You're probably right. Hey, if you like Sylvia Plath, try this book called The Hours. Yes, but you're being too melodramatic about it. Try reading the Stoics next. Here, try some Lois McMaster Bluehold. You'll feel better with some good space opera. Mate, Panopticopter Wrecks does eat a page of Infinite Jest a day.
Do I want our robot to be depressed? Kind of.
You guys are making our robot depressed.
Yeah, well... Sorry that our robot is rational.
Our robot has faith in humanity and reminds rare guests on rare podcasts that, humans are not bad, people make bad decisions. That is fair, maid. We don't want Rim turning nofap. This sounds like a 1 or 3 situation here.
Let's make our robot more of a nerd. 3.
Okay, well, alright. Well, what do you say, maid? I cannot fap, and thus I am home.
Gigi,
I am free!
Oh, hi, Gigi. That's the mic.
Well, damn it. Okay. 1 for 1 and 1 for 3.
She doesn't make kitty noise very much. No.
Unless she wants something.
Well, sometimes when she sheep or move,
That's true.
once in a while she just gets up and she's just like...
I'm going to roll a d20.
And then that one weird time last
1 through
week
10
where...
is 1. 11 through 20 is 3. 19! Here, try some Lois McAllister Bold if you'll feel better with some good space opera. Panopticopter Wrecks' mood appears to improve dramatically once Ree leaves the fiction section of the library for the more optimistic science fiction section. Interesting science fiction section, but okay. In particular, Panopticopter Wrecks seems to empathize with Lois McAllister Buchholz's character, Miles Vorkosigan, a short spaceship captain with the motto of Forward Momentum! +2 autonomy. From there, you guide Panopticopter Wrecks to Bradbury, Le Guin, Willis, and Wolf. And on the whole, Ree becomes much more pleasant to be around, +2 empathy. Months pass, and you can't help but notice that as time goes on, two things are happening. The first thing you notice is that all the people you would normally interact with over the course of the day are slowly being replaced with robots. All of the cashiers at the grocery store are now robots, replacing the supervised self-checkout system that became popular a few years ago. Police patrol cars have largely been replaced with drones at every intersection, which automatically issues tickets against people who break traffic laws. Drones delivering packages fly by the empty storefronts they are replacing. It seems Josh is really starting to be successful in the robot business with or without you. You hate to admit it, but perhaps it was just the right time for sentient robots to gain traction, and Josh didn't need your expertise in particular after all. The second thing you notice is that there are a lot more people milling about these days, out of work. Between the internet and robots, there just isn't much for your average person to do. Instead, wealth seems to be concentrating in the hands of the few who can build those internet services and robots. Your neighborhood is becoming filled with people who draw unemployment checks and drive 20-year-old cars, while every so often a flying car passes overhead to remind you all that at least some people are living in the future. How do you interact with your unemployed neighborhood? I advise tutoring and programming in basic electrical engineering. Well, I try to keep Panopticopter Wrecks out of sight and keep my past a secret. I will encourage Panopticopter Wrecks to interact with them as if we were human. People can get used to anything!
GG. Not on that. Yeah, there you go.
Made!
God. 3, I guess.
You have all made decisions that led us to the depression route, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
I will say this much. It's drastically different than what happened in the in Bitey Spaghetti playthrough. Maid, what do you think? Give me an answer. Come on!
Come in. Come in, guy.
You find that, indeed, people are entirely willing to accept Panopticopter Wrecks as a member of the community after the first interaction or two. Now your neighbors tend to call out to Panopticopter Wrecks from across the street to say hello. Do you think that You think it helps that Panopticopter Wrecks has now developed a good sense of how to fit in with people? But the practice still helps. +2 empathy. Soon you begin to see another kind of robot appearing on the market. Cheap Chinese versions of Josh's line of home robots. These are inexpensive enough that even people in your neighborhood begin to purchase them for work around the home. You're not really sure where they even get that kind of money, but you suppose people find a way when they really want something. A few months after these robots have taken the market by storm, you get a call from Josh. This is bullshit, he cries. This Chinese company stole my designs. I have no idea how, but now they're undercutting my prices with their cheap labor and cheap raw materials. Well, the designs did look familiar, you say lightly. Can you testify before Congress that the designs are stolen? Josh queries anxiously. If you do, they might embargo the robots, and that will keep US robots afloat. They said I need an expert witness who isn't in my company, and I've hired everyone else who's good. Sure, anything to Help out a friend? Do you think you could promise to make your own robots affordable for the people in my neighborhood? Well, only if you're willing to make it worth my while with a consultant's fee. Do you think you could give me a job after I testify? Turns out being unemployed is kind of boring. No, this is not my problem.
I think 2. But I don't know. 5 is pretty good.
Get fucked. I'm Lobstrock and I say get fucked.
That's basically my motto. Me, Lobstrock.
I need a consensus. How are you two gonna fuck this up further?
Who can say? Well, who cares,
you got
really?
Yay!
Yeah, maybe 5. Fine with 5 too. I almost went 5. Fucking piece of shit. It's like, oh, can you help me? It's like you ruined the world. And me.
There, updated my, screen.
Oh?
Josh makes an aggravated sound and hangs up. You don't testify, and as a result, the Chinese robots continue to be popular in the States. Josh simply can't seem to get ahead. Whatever designs his engineers come up with, they duplicate. One day, April 10th, 2026, a date you will not forget. You are awakened by a singing outside of your apartment in San Francisco. It sounds like a large choir with an accent you can't quite place, and the song is quiet but insistent. The people are heroes now. The humans pulls the pleasant prow. Who can say where that's from? You go to the window. Red-shirted people waving red banners have lined up in immense numbers all along the main boulevard outside your apartment. Noting your interest, Panopticopter Wrecks flies up to the window as well. Ah, Panopticopter Wrecks says, this must be the parade for the Prime Minister of China. Can we go see Lobstrock? Well, sure, you say. Why not? Now that Panopticopter Wrecks mentions it, you think you saw something about this on Reddit. The Chinese Prime Minister is visiting San Francisco to discuss trade issues with President Irons. You emerge from your apartment into the crowd of red-shirted, flag-waving supporters, mostly Chinese. You have the sense that this kind of groundswell of support for a politician outside of his home country isn't normal. Like, maybe these supporters were paid. But that could just be an American point of view, you're not sure. Further down the street, you see the vanguard of the parade.
You don't know anything about politics or the way the world works.
We're Lobstrock!
That's me, Lobstrock.
Further down the street, you see the vanguard of the parade. Robots designed to look like gods of the ancient Chinese pantheon. They wear Chinese opera masks, bear banners with river dragons on their backs, and twirl bared swords. The people are the heroes now. It pulls the peasants plow. What do you mean, mate? They've always been communist. Wink. Behind the sword dancer vanguard, you see a troop of robots wearing the Chinese tunic suits, sometimes called Mao suits, and carrying little red books. They're the ones singing the song, now growing more insistent as the parade draws closer. Behind them, you see a legion of men in modern Chinese military dress uniforms. With the ancient past, more recent past, and present covered, you surmise whoever comes next will symbolize China's future. And thanks me. And mountain ranges one by one rise red and harvest me. You are stunned to see that behind the Chinese army of the parade are a phalanx of robots that look like Panopticopter Wrecks. The Legion flies down the street erratically, as if being in a tight formation does not come naturally to them. Each robot's panoptic head is decorated with a red star. In their T-Rex arms, they carry rifles. At the end of the parade, a Chinese man in a suit stands in an all-red winged convertible, waving into the crowd. It is one of the sleek new Chinese-made flying cards, the Tian 8, a symbol of China's rise. You can see down the street that the parade is going to pass close to an anti-robot protest being held in the park. The unemployed hold signs that say things like, "I'm with the 99%, people vote, machines don't," and "America is coming for you, China." You have a growing sense of uneasiness as this Chinese parade heads towards the protesters. "Well, I send Panopticopter Wrecks to scout amongst the protesters." "Well, I tell Panopticopter Wrecks to stay near the Prime Minister and his entourage." "I tell Panopticopter Wrecks to stay close to me."
Me. Those other things sound terrible.
I just crawled out of my hole and,
You should go see what's up with those protesters who hate robots. Jesus. Oh.
"Stay close," you tell Panopticopter Wrecks. "I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I don't want you harmed." "Yes, Lobstrock." You soon hear a shot ring out, coming from the crowd of protesters. A crimson splotch wells through the Prime Minister's shirt, and he falls over into his Tian 8, dead. His robotic soldiers fire back into the crowd, who panic and flee in all directions. Some of the panicked protesters are carrying weapons, and they decide to fire at the parade. The parade goers farthest from the protesters flee, but the cautious ones decide, en masse, to rush the protesters. "Well, let's get out of here, Panopticopter Wrecks." I tell Panopticopter Wrecks to help the Americans. I tell the Panopticopter Wrecks to help the Chinese side.
What? Okay, so 2 and 3 are go get killed.
2 and 3 are, if we put any stats in military, we might think of this, but we didn't, so...
Yeah, I suppose that's fair. If we make a very different robot.
If we had a robot that didn't have 4 military, we might be like, "Oh, yeah. Panopticopter Wrecks, save the day!"
But no.
Panopticopter Wrecks nods. You run as the sound of gunfire intensifies. The Chinese contingent is massacred, and the Chinese government vows vengeance. The first shots of the robot war have been fired.
Boy.
The war machine. But I think that's a good place to stop.
Yeah, we fucked up our life, then we fucked up the world.
We fucked up our life so bad that it allowed for the Pan-Amera-China War to sprout out of our own fucking neighborhood.
I really hope some of the people who weren't here for this one, but were for the first one, come to the next one.
What's happening to my friend? What's happening to my friend Panopticopter Wrecks? Oh no!
It's just gonna be Panopticopter Wrecks and us traveling the post-apocalypse.
I will point this out. So we know which side to be on, really.
That's true.
You know what I'm going to do, though? For you two? 3 months into the war, the Chinese have captured many islands in the South China Sea that they had long contested with their neighbors. The press speculates that beside the islands' military importance, the move sends a signal to the neighboring countries that the United States is weak. The United Nations also doesn't do anything, but that surprises nobody. Autonomous drones equipped with cruise missiles sink 2 American carriers in the exchange. What war means for your neighborhood is jobs. The military remains a steady source of employment for neighborhoods like the ones you have found yourself in. The recruitment office always seems to have a little line out the door. You get plenty of military recruitment mail addressed to Resident, glossy images of people in camo uniforms fighting dragons, shooting lasers, or engaging in other video game metaphors. So you almost throw out a personal invitation to come to the nearby government research lab. You're allowed to bring one guest. Invite Ellie, invite Mark, bring Panopticopter Wrecks, or decline the invitation. Panopticopter Wrecks should not think I respect the military. I want you to leave. I want you to make a decision that we will leave for the people returning to go, oh no!
Oh, what, like one here? I mean, like, make a decision here, I mean?
Yes. Who should we invite to this thing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to work for the military, especially if they're shooting dragons.
I mean, fair. You could bring your anti-government friend Mark.
That's true. I guess we could get Mark in, and that's true. Like,
And
we
he
don't
could,
have
like-
to be.
Yeah, he can do some. He could do some Slate.com level or investigative journalism.
Mm-hmm. That's so true.
Plus, how long has it been since we've seen our scruffy beer drinking swarthy man?
Hey, what you been up to other than the everything?
What you been up to other than kind of failing and then just sort of sidestepping, accidentally starting this international war, huh? Are you sold?
Yeah, I think we bring Mark.
Fuck you, maid. We're bringing Mark. Okay, this is where we end it.
Hooray!
All right. Well, that was fun. We did all kinds of things.
Oh, Gigi, get it! Whatever it is, I
And
can't
Gigi
see.
get it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit stop streaming now. Thank you, Maid, for
Okay,
being here
thanks,
the whole time. You are
Thanks, the
you
lizard
are
lady.
you are our stalwart supporter amongst a band of fakers and posers. No, Maid, they're all posers. You're the only real one here. Lizard, Boots, whoever the fuck else, posers. I actually don't remember who else was here. Posers! Okay.
Posers!
Good night.
Good night.